you have done some pretty crazy things, like one time swallowing 194 loads in a row.
Yeah. And let me tell you, not everyone tastes good.
Yeah, okay, so you got I'm probably so red right now.
Welcome to the Adult Time Podcast.
Welcome to the Adult Time Podcast. My name is Bree Mills, and I am here in the Adult Time Rec Room today with not only an incredible person and an incredible performer, but also someone who I just shared with before we started rolling is actually the #1 upvoted performer on our platform at the time of this recording. Lily Starfire, welcome to the podcast, Lily.
Oh my God, thank you.
So literally, as I was preparing to come in and have this meetup with you today, I got the data from the team, and your name was #1 this past month.
Oh my God, I don't know what to say about that. That is insane to me. Like, being #1, okay, I'm doing something right.
Doing something right, and I'll tell you a little bit about how we calculate, kind of, because every company's going to look at different metrics, and so for us, it sounds a little bit backwards, but what we like to do is we like to kind of measure within a release month. We're going to put out a bunch of content. It's obviously going to feature a lot of different people, and what we like to do is look at the impact that the content we release has on our existing audience's satisfaction. So, something might not have got the most views, but did it have the biggest impact on people watching it and then wanting to stick around another month, like on renewals and on satisfaction and on engagement? Mm-hmm. And so, we measure that, and we'll wait like a full 30 days after a month to actually calculate that, because we want to see like every release in that month, in the 30 days afterwards, how many people watch that content and then renew their membership. And we also look at, in that same period of time, for all the performers that we featured in those new scenes, but also just like across the board, how many of them had engagement on their profiles. So when I say that you were the most upvoted, it meant that in that month that we, looked at those releases, the number of people that came to your profile, that discovered your profile in Adult Time and said, I like her, was at the #1 of our charts. So congratulations, that's like the ultimate icebreaker. You're coming in as like already one of our top performers. But we're gonna start things off officially with a segment that we like to call the icebreaker round. It's a game, it's a little silly. But I'm very excited to hear what you're going to have to say to these. So we're going to play a game called Would You Rather. Okay, so would you rather, Lily Starfire, would you rather be stuck in a chastity belt for 1 month each year, or have to wear vibrating underwear in public once a week?
Oh, I'm gonna take a risk. I would say I would do the vibrating panties.
Okay.
Sure.
Now I got to hear why. What are your pros and cons here? I get the not having sex for a month each year. Like that's a sad month.
That would be terrible. I could not survive off of that. Like, okay, I need dick. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. I need dick, okay?
Yeah, this is a statement, this perhaps correlates to like why you're #1 on the platform. There's a drive there, there's an energy there. Putting you in a chastity belt for a month is not gonna be a good thing. Okay, so you would rather be vibrating all over the place in public?
Yes, I mean, for one, it's freaky, it's risky, and it's something new. I've never done that before, so I'll take it.
All right, so toy companies, take note. Mm-hmm. If you want to have Lily sponsor any vibrating products, that you'd be game. You'd be game. So you've mentioned that you've never done any of those, played with those sort of long distance vibrating toys or some remote controlled toys.
No.
Those, from limited experience, those tend to backfire more than they are successful.
No, don't say that. Oh my God, my fantasy. Why does it backfire?
So it I guess it depends on if it's vibrating all the time, that's one thing. But if it's one of those remote controlled where like you give the power to somebody else to control when it vibrates, which I know like a lot of cam girls will do that. They'll sort of offer that as like an upsell to people that are watching. But also like couples will do it. So like, you could be long distance and your like partner's controlling your remote. In my past, when I had done that, oftentimes you're like setting up as the person that's got the remote control and the connection fails or like the Bluetooth doesn't connect. So you could be sent out in public with the promise of vibration and you end up with a very like inconsistent vibration.
Like blue balls.
Exactly. It doesn't really have that like, effect that you had hoped. So, but anyway, you were down to try it. That would be your would you rather. Okay, so we're going to kind of continue on this theme of, sort of sexual control. Would you rather only be able to have sex in complete darkness or with a interrogation-style spotlight shining directly on you at all times?
Damn, I'm like, that is a hard choice. Okay. I would say with the spotlight, I want to be able to see the person I'm fucking. And I don't know, just like, it's kind of weird just being in complete darkness. You can't even see their eyes, you can't see their lips or anything like that. So
yeah, so you want the full view, even if it is like bright blazing lights. Have you ever done one of those? They have these, dining experiences where there's sort of novelty dinner packages where you can go and sort of eat in total darkness, or like those where you can immerse yourself in like the water tanks that are in complete darkness. You've never tried anything like that?
No.
I'll tell you, it's your eyes naturally try to seek to find the light. And so you find that you're in darkness, but you're always looking to try to find, because one does not want to exist in total darkness. So you probably would end up in having sex, but like desperately trying to make out anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or giving yourself in completely. Like some people, if you can give yourself in completely, you can just exist in the pure darkness with stuff happening.
Like, oh.
Yeah, but okay, so bright shining spotlight. All right, so moving along. Still in the bedroom, when you are having sex, would you rather have sex with someone who narrates every single moment as if it were a sports game?
Fuck no.
Or, because this could be worse.
Oh God.
Or someone who recites poetry the entire time.
Okay, I will say that I've been with someone, like we didn't date, but we fucked around when I was like 20, and he would say like some poetic shit. I was like, you're ruining the vibe. You are ruining it. So that brings me back there, but if it was like a sports illustration, ooh, I feel like that would be worse.
Well, it gives you different kinds of anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Like if there was a play-by-play, and let's assume that the person is a good sports commentator. So like they're keeping you on the edge of your seat. You know everything that's happening. They're ramping up. They're getting excited at certain moments. Like you could give into that, but it's going to make you feel very stressed. But if someone is reciting poetry, like you can't escape the cringe of that. So you're going to start to be in your own head and be like, feeling like I don't think I feel sexy anymore.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, that one.
I would have to say maybe the sports illustration because like the poetry thing, I can't.
You've been there. You've endured it. Yeah. Are you the type of person where like some people can just tune out, like if someone's doing something cringy in a sexual encounter, some folks can just tune that out, focus in on, like something that feels good to just get through. And then some people, myself included, like if there's a turn off, like the faucet goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you're dry, nothing's happening. Ugh,
Yeah,
no.
you're just hearing the rhyming couplets in your head, and it's just embarrassing. All right, so note to our fans: if you're ever going to try to court Lily in the future, do not use poetry because that might not go over. But all right, so last up on our icebreaker here, this one seems obvious, but maybe it's not. Would you rather have sex with someone who smells like onions or someone who insists on always leaving their shoes on?
Always leaving their shoes on. I say that because I've dealt with a guy. I've dealt with a guy who used garlic shampoo.
Ooh.
And I was like, why do you smell like garlic? He's like, oh, it's my shampoo. He was like so happy to show it to me and everything. And I was like, that is gross. Get rid of it.
What are I've never heard of garlic shampoo before. What are the benefits?
Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I don't use it either. And for someone to just like do that and expect people to be attracted to them.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah, so definitely the shoes. I mean, leaving the shoes on does get into that cringe category a little bit, where like if you're buck naked but you got your shoes on, like it's a look. It's a look. But if you stink like onions, like that is, I would agree that's more
so
that's a
bad.
turn off. You can't really you cannot overcome that.
That is true.
All right, good. Well, I think we now definitely have a good sense of your sexual preferences in this respect. So let's get into some of the questions my team put together just to get to know you a little bit better, and then we can find out how you got to the point where you're topping our charts at Adult Time.
I'm here to tell you the truth.
The truth? The truth about what?
I didn't always just work here. I was a camper, just like you. You were a lesbian.
Something funny.
I love you, Nina.
I love you. My one true love, broken forever.
Straight into the lion's den.
Wait, what's going on?
First ladies, let's send them a message.
Yeah!
That no one messes with angry lesbians.
Yeah! We need reinforcements. They're riding.
But if our research is correct, we found that you may have been considered by some a little bit of a late bloomer in the bedroom. So is it true that you started to have sex at around 19?
Yes.
Okay. So talk a little bit about, maybe your early sexual experience and what moment sparked for you wanting to get into sex work and the industry.
Okay, so at that time, I was just experimenting with different guys, and I realized that sometimes I didn't like dick. I say that because just like some of the guys, they didn't know how to fuck. And I think that turned me off because I didn't know how to fuck either. I was still learning. So it was just like a learning process, and going through that, I was just like, okay, I know I'm a very sexual person. And I'm like, what is it? So later on, a few months later, after I was having sex, I ran into this person that I found on Tinder.
Uh-huh. Shout out to Tinder.
Yeah, even though I'm banned on there now. But this guy, he really knew how to fuck. And I'm like, okay, can you teach me some things like how to ride you, how to take you? And it took a couple of days for me to loosen up and not be so tight. And that was really the mind opener to me to sex.
Yeah.
And even before, like, I used to watch a lot of porn, like, way before I started having sex. And it was like, okay, I think I want to do porn one day. Just, like, experience that, that enticing moment with someone. And just really get into it. But at the time, I was still in school. So I was like, I want to finish high school and then maybe revisit the idea. I didn't just want to leave high school.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, there's like, you know, of course, with like shooting any professional content, you know, it's an 18 plus environment anyway. Getting through school, getting those first few years of being an adult before taking such a, you know, such an impactful decision is a wise move anyway. When you were watching porn, you know, what did you mentioned that what kind of sparked your interest in maybe doing porn one day was like seeing that kind of like that confidence on screen, or just sort of like seeing how enticing it was to have those experiences and have them filmed. What was your favorite kind of porn to watch, and were there any people in particular that you saw that you were like, I want to be like that person or have those types of experiences?
I would say definitely seeing Manuel Ferrara fuck, also Johnny Sins. Those two, like, they really got me into porn because I'm like, okay, like if there's men like this out there, like maybe there's one for me. Or like maybe I could be like the female version of like, I want to fuck.
Yeah, which is interesting because like for your own sexual awakening, it was meeting that guy who had experience and having like a positive experience with him that made you realize like, oh, like people who know how to fuck. One cannot underestimate that we are not all naturally gifted in that respect, right? And so what attracted you to performers like Manuel or Johnny was like the confidence that they had, the ability to do the thing. That's interesting. And did you see it was a kind of like the way that they made their co-stars feel? Was that sort of how you saw that was also how you wanted to feel when you were having sex?
Yes,
Yeah.
like I just really wanted to be engaged with that person.
Yeah.
And like you could literally see like the chemistry dripping from the screen with them. And also with a few other female performers like Chanel Hart. She's like...
Shout out to Chanel.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is my top one on there as a female performer that I always used to watch.
And I know that Chanel doesn't shoot as much anymore. I remember years ago working with her on a couple of things and just walking away with like the best. Like she was amazing. Chanel, if you ever want to come back and shoot something, you know where to find us. Yeah, she was and is great.
She is.
So kind of being attracted to that sort of sense of confidence. If you were like, have you worked with either Manuel or Johnny in your career?
Yeah.
Yeah. So was that like a dream come true?
Honestly, yes. Like, especially Manuel. He was like the first one I watched, but at the time, like I didn't even know who he was. It was just like on RedTube, and it didn't even say his name. So I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
It's funny, whenever I talk to civilians, especially civilian women, and they find out that, you know, I'm in the industry and stuff, almost always they're going to mention, so do you know that performer? And it's always Manuel Ferrara. And just like, it's for the same reasons you liked him, like just that like swooping a girl up and like having that confidence on screen, and like every civilian girl knows who Manuel Ferrara is, which goes to say something both about what women watch and also that he's got an it factor for sure.
Exactly.
So, you know, I know that you were also like, so you thought about doing porn. You wanted to finish school, get a little life under your belt. And when did you finally make the plunge? What was sort of your entry into porn story?
I would definitely say when I was working at the mall. I wasn't making a lot. I worked 2 jobs. One of them, it was like $7 an hour. The other one was like 12 or something an hour. And my rent at that time, since I was staying at student housing, I went to college for a little bit to study psychology. And it just wasn't enough really to like pay my rent. And I was like, I can pay my rent, but I'm not gonna have anything left over.
Yeah.
And I didn't start working until late in my life because my parents, they just really, they kept me away. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you were looking and was, did you start, I know a lot of people will start kind of on the road to porn where they'll start with OnlyFans or live camming, or did you go straight into getting an agent and working with studios? Yeah.
I did right away. Like at first I ran into this dumb company that was like a fake company. He was a pimp. And then like I finally found a good agency, got work, and started living out here.
Yeah. What would be some of, having gone through, like you said, encountering some bad actors and then switching over and finding like a good agency to represent you? What would be some of the like lessons you've learned that you'd share to other people coming into the business?
Definitely have an LLC. That is something no one ever told me when I joined. Also, make sure you're going to brand yourself and establish yourself. That is something you want because it's really important. And also, I feel like it helps you find the direction of what you want to go in.
And those were lessons you had to learn yourself along the way. So let's talk about the importance of setting yourself up as a business, because I know that you are now back in school and studying business, and that's sort of another passion of yours. So why should independent content creators set themselves up as a company?
Well, for one, you got to set yourself up for success. That is something you want to do. And the more that you work for yourself, like OnlyFans or like whatever, even camming sites, it's just like you're getting your name out there, but without the help of others, really. And I feel like it also helps like more fans find you. I know that working for studios, it really does get your name out there. That's another way. But it may or may not be like forever. So that's why you want to set yourself up.
Yeah, definitely. Also really important in setting yourself up as a company and thinking like a company, you need to look at things like managing your money, looking at it as revenue that comes in and not as income.
Yeah.
Paying yourself as also being your own boss and having the right setup, doing the taxes, making sure that's all set up. All of these things are super important. And I wish there was a course everybody could take to get into the industry. There isn't one yet, but definitely also finding, did you find meeting people along the way that had gone through stuff and set themselves up? Did that kind of mentorship also help you, or you really had to kind of carve your own path to learn these lessons?
I had to carve my own path to learn these lessons. I'm a very shy person, so I don't really talk to people like that. Yeah. Like, even when I did before, like first joining the industry, it was like, I don't think I was in that headspace yet to start thinking of myself as like branding myself to my own business. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was an independent road. But it's funny, you describe yourself as a shy person, yet your performances, we can't show any clips. I mean, we can maybe show a few abridged safe for work moments.
Yeah.
But, you that might surprise people who watch your scenes to know that you're shy. So how do you feel that like being a performer has helped you to like combat some of those feelings of shyness, or at least help you create this other side of your personality that, is definitely not shy?
So after joining porn, I knew I needed some kind of confidence. I was like, I don't have it. It's not there. And my craziest thought, the dumbest thought at the time, was to go to a strip club. I'm like, if I can get naked in front of all these strangers and stuff, maybe it will help me like build up my confidence to where I need it to be, to where I can perform how I really want to perform. And doing dancing, like that really helped me a lot with my confidence and my shyness. It helped.
Doesn't sound like a dumb idea at all. It sounds like you're really smart, like you're putting yourself in the field. You know, I know I also tend to be, I'm like an expressive introvert. So I'm also tend to be shy when I'm meeting other people. And I know like the 1 or 2 times I've gone to a strip club just as a person there, not as a performer, I've also been like, don't come near me, like I don't want to lap dance. So like, yeah, like forcing yourself to be out there, you know, on the stage is a great way to, you know, not just picture everybody naked, but picture yourself naked, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, over how many scenes would you say like you've shot now roughly within your time working with studios?
Ooh, I want to say maybe 200.
Yeah.
But I'm not even sure.
Well, let's just say figuratively 200. You know, now that you've got 200 scenes under your belt, now that you know, like have built up more of that confidence, if you were going to describe, you know, your style in terms of performing, what comes to mind?
Ooh, playful, seductive, and enticing.
Oh, there you go. So everything that you hope to see when you used to watch porn scenes, basically.
Basically.
There you go. You have become, art imitates life and life imitates art. So, you know, the sort of stripping at the early start of your career helped to build that confidence. Had you been a dancer before that, or did you also need to learn how to dance in addition to learning how to get naked in front of people?
This was the dumb thing that I was talking about because I had never danced before.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll just go for it. It took me a year.
All right. So, you know, and okay. So, what did you learn? Because I also strip culture is its own complete subculture. And you know, that what were some of your highlight moments from, you know, those early years working as a stripper and in porn? You know, any fun stories you have to tell from your stripping days?
I have a lot. I would say like the first time I ever saw a fan of mine at the club, like that was a highlight moment for me. He was a regular after a while, and that, oh my God, it made my night. And then there was this one fan who came in, and I didn't like him. Like, he was just a little too pushy. I don't like pushy people. Like, if you're gonna be pushy, get the fuck out of my face. So, with him, he was just like, oh yeah, I want you to grab my dick, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I will, but don't grab my hand, because he was grabbing it. He ended up spraining my thumb, and I was so not happy about that.
Yep.
But I was just like, okay. One of the craziest stories I would say that I have in the club is is when me and some of the other dancers, we decided to just like drink a little bit. Then we drank a little bit too much. But then we ended up getting like a 3-way dance, like VIP dance. So that one was really cool. It was very chill.
Yeah.
No, we did not fuck.
No, there you go. There you go. Do you still do feature dancing now?
I don't, but I would love to feature dance.
Yeah. Well, especially now that you're like kind of, how do you call it? Like your persona, your name is rising, like kind of like getting more exposure as a porn performer. I know that that's a great kind of crossover to bring into doing feature dancing gigs and getting, bigger audiences and stuff. So yeah, if you ever want to dust off those dancing shoes and go back, it would be probably a great way to just even continue to broaden those audiences. But nobody spraying Lily's thumb. Like that's not good. That is fan etiquette 101, whether you're at a fan expo or at a feature dancing gig. Be respectful. Don't grab hands. They're not going to want to touch your dick, and they're especially not going to want to do it if you are being pushed.
What the fuck?
Hey, Miss Johnson, are you all right?
I'm better than I ever been.
Naomi, what are you doing? We'll both do whatever you say. Just tell us what you need. You're gonna let us go now, right?
Speaking of AVNs, did you go to the expo last year? Have you ever done the kind of fan expos either at Exotica or AVN as a sort of a signing performer?
I've never done Exotica. That is something I should do. I might next year. I've been to AVN ever since I started in the industry, but this year for AVN, I went for 1 day. Then the next day, I woke up feeling terrible. I got the flu.
Yep, as one does at AVN, the dreaded AVN flu.
Yeah, so I had to go home. I couldn't go to the show or anything.
Yeah. How did it feel? I know you were just there doing 1 day of signing, but that's a totally different experience too. One that can be really fun, but also can be quite taxing. How did you find especially as sort of a shyer, more reserved person being amongst thousands of porn fans?
Honestly, it was so much fun. My first day, everyone was so welcoming, and I got tips. So thank you to those who did tip me. Other than that, it was a really fun experience.
Yeah. So one of you definitely do again.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good to know. So at AVN this past year, you got a pretty cool nomination. You were nominated for your first DP, which please explain to everybody what DP means, who doesn't know what it means.
Double penetration.
Double penetration. And specifically in this case, a DVP, which stands for...
What does that stand for? I
think it stands
forgot.
for double vaginal penetration, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so that basically translates in layman's terms to 2 dicks in the pussy. And then a DP was 1 pussy, 1 ass? There you go, okay. So you did your first scene that featured those sex acts. In porn, sex acts, they certain ones are recognized as kind of milestone scenes, generally based on the level of difficulty, I would say, to achieve them. So kudos to you for that, because they sound terrifying to me. But a lot of people don't realize how much goes into really preparing yourself mentally and physically for scenes like that. So for your first DP scene, walk us through, how did you kind of prepare for doing that? Because that is a certain level of athleticism that, takes some prep.
That is true. So these 2 guys I had never worked with before, Milan and Vince. So I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, okay. And then once they arrived there, I just all my worries go away. And it's just okay, I feel like this will be a good scene. I've never done double penetration. And I'm really nervous, but they were so sweet. They gave me kisses. They just gave me some massages and was it's okay. We're gonna treat you really good. I'm like, okay. The director, he actually originally wanted me to have their dicks in my ass. And I'm like, I can't do 2. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
Like, my ass is just not like that. It's more for like 1 dick.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, okay, am I really gonna take 2 dicks in my vagina? Like, is it gonna fit in there? I kept like asking myself that in my head, and then I'm like, okay, just have fun, just go through it, it's okay. And then like once they were both inside me at the same time, I was like, oh, okay, like it was just different, but at the same time, it's just like everything kind of melted away, and I just like, I really got into the scene that way.
Yeah.
I
Well, I don't think I've never worked with Milan, but I've worked with Vince a number of times. Really, really nice guy, very professional. And I would say, like, as a performer, kind of get into that, that level where like Manuel is, where they just have that ability to just, drive a scene. And it's something that when you see, and I'm sure when you experience it, it does make you realize there is a difference. Like, there's only certain guys that are at the very top of the male talent pool for a reason. So it looks like you were with like a good trio for that scene. What's your typical, because do you typically shoot anal scenes? Or were you just limited and did this one DP as a sort of an exception?
No, I usually do anal.
Yeah. So what's your typical kind of prep routine for an anal scene? Because I know everybody's got a different little game plan.
Mine is boring, honestly. It's just so simple. Like, I'll clean myself out first. I'll take my Imodium, and then what I'll do is have a very high protein breakfast. If people tell you not to eat before anal, you're stupid. I'm just saying that because, like, I've seen girls, like, on set get, like, dizzy or feel like they're gonna faint, and it's, like, because you don't have any energy. Like, but for me, like, I won't eat any, like, vegetables or stuff that's, like, easy to digest so fast. So what I'll do is I'll have like eggs or like turkey bacon, maybe some bread. It just depends on what I'm feeling. But something like that just to keep my energy going. And throughout the day, like I'll have some applesauce and Gushers.
So if you see Lily on the side just eating the motts, popping some Gushers, you know what kind of day it is. Do you think, like, were you someone who, before porn because you just spoke very eloquently about the digestive system. And it's important to understand how your body, absorbs different kinds of foods, from carbohydrates to proteins to fats, and that they're not all digested the same. But a lot of people don't even understand how their bodies work, and they just, like you said, starve themselves for sometimes 24 hours before a scene, which is, certainly, I wouldn't want to do that kind of scene without low energy. Do you kind of have a good understanding of like your body and health and wellness, and taking care of yourself just as part of your like personal life, or was that part of your education, learning like, oh, here's how my body functions, so here's how I will use it to prepare for these types of scenes?
Yeah, it was something I definitely had to learn. I had asked several girls for tips about doing anal. All of them said not to eat. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I've done that twice, and I felt like I was gonna faint. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so there you go. Some the importance of sharing tips, and that everybody's a little bit different. So, speaking of different, I see here. So in your 200 scenes, we're getting to this question.
Oh God.
We're getting to this one. In your approximately 200 scenes, you've definitely done a whole bunch of different stuff, but none quite take the cake. Like your scene for the premium bukkake series, where I hear, according to our research, that you have done some pretty crazy things, like one time swallowing 194 loads in a row.
Yeah.
I would like to hear, as a producer, the behind the scenes of how that was coordinated, really.
Oh God. Okay. So this was filmed in Madrid, of course. So once I get to the office, just to go over everything before we start, the guy tells me, he's like, oh, you're gonna have to take some medicine so like the cum can like properly digest in your system.
Just to interrupt, what were your raw thoughts in the moment where you sat down to begin the shoot and you were told you needed to take medicine because of the amount of cum and how it would digest in your system?
I was like, fuck no. I said that right away. And before he could even finish his sentence, I'm like, I'm in another country. I don't know like what this is. And is it gonna affect me?
This is FTA approved.
Yeah. And then he was like, no, you have to, like, it's okay. You can do some research on it. And it was just like stuff to, I forgot the name of it, but it's just to help your digestive system. And also they give you some pills to help with nausea.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
I'm already need some pills to help with nausea.
Yeah.
At the thought of 194 loads.
I was like, oh.
Okay, so you're realizing, and did you know I would hope that you knew going into the shoot what kind of scene it was, or was it a case where you maybe didn't quite realize the details until you were there?
I didn't know until I was there. Like once they told me it was gonna be like 100 and something guys, I was like, oh, that is different. Like in some ways in my head, I was like, I don't think I could do this. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. I'm like, it's a one-time thing that I'm gonna do. I don't plan on doing another. But it was just like something that I wanted to do just one time.
Yeah, so ultimately you came to your own decision, like, I will proceed with this. But definitely, word to the wise for everybody, make sure that you don't end up walking into a situation where you're only told then and there that there are 100 guys waiting outside the room.
Yeah.
The lessons we learned, the lessons we have all learned as we are professionalizing porn. But okay, so you agree to move forward. You're provided with this medicine. What happens next?
After that, they will give you something to eat. I didn't like what they had, which was, anyone maybe would have liked it, a grilled cheese. But it was cold, and I was just like, no, I don't want this. I want something else. So I just brought a little smoothie with me. They made me wait like 2 hours after I had taken it to be able to perform. I didn't feel anything then, but of course, like after it was done, everything just comes back up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to ask some questions. And I had Sophia Locke on the podcast a number of months ago, and she had done a sort of similar, like large, we'll call it a high volume scene. And she had mentioned that there were different roles on set to kind of hold a cup underneath her and kind of hold her hair back. Did you have a similar setup in the actual production?
I did, yeah, but it was mostly like the girl just wanting to hold the cup under me to make sure that none of the cum goes to waste.
Right.
And then whatever was in there, I had to drink it.
Yeah, yeah. So. And
let me tell you, not everyone tastes good.
Yeah, okay, so you got I'm probably so red right now. So what does a blend like that, like, can you pick out certain notes in a blend like that? Or does it all just become whoever does not taste good ends up overpowering the mix?
Yeah, whoever doesn't taste good, they do overpower it, and you can just tell. And they're like, no, you can't spit it out. I'm like, this guy tastes gross.
Yeah.
Like, I knew which one it was immediately.
You could pick him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, you need to eat better. That's what I said.
These are the true behind the scene moments that don't make it into the fantasy that people watch. So, so you were able to identify, who needed to maybe clean up their hygiene and their eating habits a little bit. Was there any? You had mentioned that this was like an experience you ultimately wanted to do to sort of check it off your bucket list, so to speak. What would you say walking away from it? What were your final takeaways? Would you do it again? And if so, what would you maybe do different? Or how would you recommend it be done better for others?
Oh, I would not do it again. It's just too much on my body. That is a lot of fucking cum. And also, it's just for someone who's going into it, make sure that no one tells you it's gonna be 6 people and you get there and it's 194 or something guys.
100%. That is a PSA. Don't ever accept a booking with misleading information. And producers, please do better and make sure to be transparent about what the scene is in advance.
Yes,
I agree.
Please do.
But it's, it's an experience that not everybody can say they did. So going back to the I like dick opening, but not every dick is the same.
That is very true.
It correlates in the experience of also sperm is not all the same.
I'm ready. I'm completely ready. So why don't you just tell me what we're gonna do?
This is your initiation. If you want to be one with me, you're gonna have to prove it.
I want more.
How about we take on a protege?
How about 2?
Sorry to bother you. The car broke down. Will you let me in? Will you let me in too?
Of course. Yes, come in.
You deserve someone who sees you.
I'm ready for someone to take over.
Yes. Open your mouth, Jerry. Let me in.
So let's switch it over to hopefully what was a fun experience, much more enjoyable experience with a bunch of people, but less people, which was a scene that you recently did for Adult Time. I think I would wager to guess that the release of it may have had something to do with you charting at the top of our charts because a lot of people tuned into this. It was a pilot concept that we did that was called Congrats Grads, but it was a mostly POV shoot that we did that you took part of, and it had a lot of extras in it. And I think the goal of the pilot was to create something that's sort of course, we're not going to go out to a real graduation ceremony with real people just trying to graduate and film a porn scene.
Yeah.
Going back to professionalism, going back to doing things right. But people have that fantasy of like wanting to believe that something was happening in real life settings. So we tried to sort of stage with having a bunch of people in the right setting, this sort of graduation ceremony, and then in amongst it, some sexy stuff was happening. So from what I understand, there were a bunch of extras on set that day. And not all of them were porn performers. Some of them were civilian extras or extras that had been tapped as actors from outside the porn world. What was sort of your experience filming that episode and also like dealing with a crowd that luckily were not all coming at the shoot?
Honestly, it was just so much fun. Like, I didn't have an issue like having civilians being there on set. I was like, this is a different experience, so why not? I will say this, I doubt anyone said anything about this, but there was one girl who didn't know it was for a porn set.
Oh.
And she left. I was like, girl, because they told everyone else.
Yeah.
And they even told her, I'm sure, she
Yeah.
just didn't look. And she was like, oh my God, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. I felt so bad for her because she seemed like so nice.
Yeah.
But everyone else, like, they were pretty chill. Like, they asked me some questions and even some of like the most popular question is, how can I get into the industry?
Yes.
And then I'm like, well, look at what we're doing now. Do you think you could fuck in a room full of people like this?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, no, I don't think I could. I'm like, then there's your answer. You're
Yeah.
not fit out to do porn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's good advice. Well, and it's interesting. So, of course, I would most certainly hope that, the producer of this project and in booking people, you always should be sharing information up front. Of course, sometimes, things can get miscommunicated. What I'm happy to hear is that before anything started filming, probably during what I would assume would be the big kind of consent discussion, the opportunity that if somebody at any point feels like, wait a minute, I don't want to be part of this, that, they were able to not be part of it and move on. And that's the whole reason why we do those checks and balances too, especially when you're dealing with people that aren't actively working within the industry. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that at least nobody went through an experience and then said, hey, wait a minute.
Right.
Right? Because, we definitely want to make sure everybody's consenting. But it was also good that when people asked you about how could I get into this, that you could look around and say, well, watch today and see.
Yeah.
So, would for people looking in at POV as a genre, they often assume, oh, it's super easy to shoot.
Easy for the guy.
Yeah. So, what would you say are some of the challenges about shooting POV that the average viewer might not realize?
The challenges of it is always being on point. If you move to a certain position where the camera isn't there or where the guy has to adjust the camera, you're kind of fucked because hello, you're supposed to be doing all the work. So you have to keep in mind about that. That's your key to it. And also it's just I don't know, I like POV too. It is a little bit more, it's a little bit harder to film, but also I really like the art of it. Mm-hmm. There's just something different about it. And it's okay, well, I'm the main star, which in reality, yeah, basically I am. But even more so with POV, it really does show off the girl and her skills at that as well.
Yeah,
I did find it a little bit challenging, but it was something that I overcame, and it's number one.
Hey, listen, there you go. It did really well. Definitely, people watched it and definitely noticed you. So it succeeded in introducing them to the female star of the episode. So I think great effort overall. And again, the work you've been doing with Adult Time in general, it's been doing really well. So I'm super excited to see what else we collaborate on in the future. If you had one bucket list item that you really want to do, one kind of scene, what would be your dream scene to do, with Adult Time or any studio?
Ooh. With Adult Time, I do really like your movies that you do, The Walls.
Yeah.
Look at them, literally. I would love to be in one of those. Mm-hmm. That is something that is very different to me, and of course new, but I'd be down to do something like that.
What's your favorite film genre? Just so I can get it in the back of my Rolodex.
I love horror. I love it.
Very good. We do have a horror series called Under the Bed, which is sort of different little short films that we're actually just literally resurrecting this year. So I will keep in mind that you're a horror fan. That's a good one. In a previous interview, you said that if you could teach someone who wanted to be a better sexual partner how to do it, what you would focus on teaching them would be two things, two very important things. How to kiss, and perhaps the most important thing of all, how to eat pussy. So, we're giving you the floor, Lily Starfire. Please let the world know, especially when it comes to eating pussy, what are your pro tips?
My pro tips for eating pussy: do not use teeth.
Good.
Too many people do that. And it's just when you're kissing someone, do you use teeth? No, the fuck you don't. So it's just like, I don't know, kiss the pussy like you're kissing lips. Just start making out with it slowly. Maybe slip a finger in or two. That's good enough for me.
There you go. Pro tips. One thing I find in porn scenes, it's so funny because like whenever we're doing consent, we always do consent meetings for every scene. We meet with the cast and we're going over everybody's, I always like to go over everybody's don'ts, but I also like to go over everybody's do's because like as much as possible, like, you know, we want the scene to actually click in with what you like, right? And so often performers are gonna be like, I love kissing. Like it's gonna come up at the top of the yes list. Mm-hmm. But then when the scene starts, there's like 10 seconds of kissing and then like we're right into a position. And it's the same thing, like people when they're watching scenes, our fans will always be like, more kissing. Why do you think it's so hard to actually get more kissing in scenes when it seems to be like what a lot of people like, but oftentimes like we just rush through it to get to the hardcore?
Ooh, well, I don't know if it's happened to anyone else, but this is my experience, is I was making out with someone who had rotten teeth, like probably in the back, couldn't see them in the front. His breath smelled really bad, so it was really hard to make out with him. So I tried my best, but that could also be like a reason, like maybe their breath smells, maybe they have rotten teeth, or they're wearing veneers and they don't brush their real teeth, so it smells.
Yeah.
That could be like a really big reason. Or maybe they just, as much as I hate to say this, maybe some people just don't really want to do that. They're just like, let's get it over with.
Yeah. So brush your teeth.
Definitely.
Brush your teeth like properly.
Yes.
It all comes back to like, don't smell like onions. Don't have bad breath. And you will get kissed more. All right, so let's take it. We're gonna take to our final segment. This is called Rapid Fire. These are all clickbait questions. I'm gonna ask them to you, and then you're gonna give us your response, and we're gonna see what goes viral. All right, you ready? Okay, you once tweeted, and I quote, "Men who let me touch their balls turn me on." Is ball play underrated, Lily?
I think so, yes. And another thing, it's underrated when guys don't wash their balls. Please wash your fucking balls. Like, I don't know, it's just like your dick. Like, you want that to be clean. You don't want it to be smelly or anything like that. But honestly, I don't know. There's just something about balls. I feel like most guys are like really sensitive to that, and that turns me on.
So like I am a on the very gay side of the spectrum. So I myself have never interacted directly with balls. But I assume it's kind of like breasts, right? Where you just want to touch them. You just want to grab them a little bit. And so ball play underrated, but please also hygiene is important.
Yes.
Do you ever get nervous before a scene? And if so, how do you calm the jitters?
Ooh, if I'm nervous before a scene, it's either because I've never worked with the guy or I've just, what would be my second one? I don't remember the second one now, but the first thing it would be if I've never worked with them before, what I'll do is just be like, okay, this is gonna be a chill day. You already know what you're supposed to be doing. Don't worry about what he's supposed to be doing and what he isn't doing in the scene. Just make it happen.
Yeah.
Just be a fucking fuck doll.
You heard it here first, folks. Have you ever tried a kink or a position in your personal life that you first discovered in a scene and then you liked so much you brought it back home to the bedroom?
Ooh. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Okay. So
not yet.
Good to know. So that cum bucket did not make it. Did not make it back home. What are some of the go-to things in your set bag?
Ooh. Mouthwash and toothpaste and douche. those three are my top.
What's the strangest thing you've ever been asked to bring to set for a scene in terms of wardrobe or props?
Nothing strange yet.
Also a challenge. Also a challenge that Adult Time very well might be able to deliver on. What is the most out of left field question that a fan has ever asked you in a DM that you want to share? Because some of them are just inappropriate.
If I would piss in this guy's mouth.
There you go. It always comes back to the piss.
Yeah.
That's inevitably, it always comes back to the peeing. I assume that would be a no, or is that something that is a potential kink that you'd explore in the future?
Maybe. I might do it, but like for him, I was just like, yeah, if you'll pay my rate. But I was just joking, kinda.
All right, so you've got 60 seconds in a sex store. You've got unlimited money. It's like supermarket sweeps, but in a sex store. What are you picking up?
Monster dildos. I love them.
So these are the monsters, not just in size, but also like the monster shapes, like the crazy
all
bad
the
dragon.
shapes.
Yeah.
All of them.
What's the wildest dildo you have in your collection?
I actually don't have any wild dildos, just regular, because you can't post them on OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like, this is boring. I can't use it. So.
There you go.
But if I had a choice, I'd have like a shelf full of like monster dicks, just all of the shapes, everything.
She's a horror fan. Come on, we got to bring out these fantasies. All right, and then this is my last question for you, which I always find fascinating. So, when you masturbate, right? So when you're rubbing one out, are you typically a visual person where you like to watch something to get off, or do you like to fantasize or mix it up?
I like to fantasize.
All right. What's in that mental spank bank? I want to hear what is the most common thing you think about, again, that you are willing to disclose. This is a real share moment. This is an ultimate getting to know Lily moment.
This is probably so cringy, but before I joined porn, I would watch a lot of amateur porn too. So there was this one video where this guy was coming into this lady's house to fix something.
Classic.
And that is sometimes my fantasy. Oh, you're hot, you're coming into my house, you're fixing something for me, and I'm single and I want to fuck you. That's my fantasy.
There you go. So what you're saying, Lily, is that you would enjoy a pizza delivery, a dishwasher repair, a potential UPS drop-off. That is your ultimate fantasy. We got to wrap that up into a good horror plot, a nice feature-length horror plot, and there we go. All right, Lily. Well, it has been amazing to get a chance to get to know you better, to get to learn about your career, stuff that is important for you as a performer, and also to share with others. Lily, it was amazing. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we did it, everybody. Woo! All right, good work.
Okay, I need dick. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I need dick. Okay.
Yeah, this was a statement.
Please wash your fucking balls.